Beleaguered but unbeaten, the air travel industry is proving its mettle by overcoming its own bureaucracy and rekindling its innovative roots. As we inch back to a place called normal, we know that COVID has left an indelible mark on how we live, work, and travel. Fueled by a survivalist sense of urgency, the commercial air travel sector, which has not been regarded as a disruptor since the jet age, is signaling an innovation renaissance that is revolutionizing the way we experience air travel. In just a single year, we've seen unprecedented rapid-fire innovation, collaboration, and technology adoption across airports and airlines, designed to protect travelers' health and safety, improve efficiency, and most importantly, to regain the trust of consumers. I'm your host, Lisa Caslin, and welcome to One-on-One with Expert Flyer. Jamie Richter is a sales director at ELO, the original inventor of the touchscreen dating all the way back to 1971.
As we started working through this pandemic, it started to raise new challenges and new challenges and new innovations that we had to kind of co-create with our customers in a really short time frame. So I think, from my perspective, a positive of COVID and honestly this whole pandemic has been the acceleration of putting technology into locations, whether it's, retail, quick serve restaurants, travel, any vertical has really been sped up. Things that were on, the roadmap to go out in 3 to 4 years went out in 3 to 5 months. That we're not just providing, touch screens, we're providing, really interactive touch experiences. And that can lead to a whole host of different technologies.
United Airlines recently implemented a new service for passengers called Agent on Demand. James Stathopoulos, Managing Director of Digital Technologies for Airport and Network Operations for United, explains.
Agent on Demand, which empowers our customers and our customer service agents to be able to talk either video, voice, or chat in a real-time manner, kind of anywhere in the airport. So you don't have to wait in line, to get an update, to change your seat.
I'm looking to see if I can change my seat to the exit row.
Absolutely. Would you prefer an aisle or a window?
You really scan a QR code and then use your mobile device, to fire away whatever questions you might have, or interact with a kiosk.
United Airlines, came to us with that challenge, and they had a tremendous application that they already developed for, your mobile devices, but they wanted to also bring that in a kiosk type of environment, because one of the biggest things United gave me insight into is that when people go to the airport, they're already a little bit more anxious. So how do we try to help calm them down, when they're traveling, especially if your flights change? What they found in partnering with us is that by standardizing on our architecture platform, right, which is kind of a mobile-first Android, based operating system, they can leverage existing software that they may have already been developed, or develop the software for multiple different devices instead of having to have, software for a kiosk, software for your phone.
Yeah, and the way it works, it will route, like if for example, if you're at O'Hare and you have weather, it's a blue sky day in, for example, LA, we can route help from our LAX staff to process more individuals and keep our customers happy.
Hi there. I wanted to see if I could book an earlier flight.
So it looks like there's one leaving at 12:50. I can put you on that with no additional charge.
That would be great.
And lastly, the thing that I didn't even think about was, from a multi-language perspective, it's even fantastic, because you can have people, that may be on site that can't speak other languages, but, in the off-site locations, you can have people that can speak German or French or Spanish and communicate with some of those members that may be traveling abroad as well.
Currently operating at all of United's 7 hub airports, Agent on Demand is getting praise from both consumers and employees. If you've been to LaGuardia or JFK airports recently, you may have seen these modern-looking phone booths. Welcome to JabberBox, the brainchild of co-founders Brian Hackathorn and Jeremy Jennings, who saw a need for private anywhere workspaces for today's mobile business person. Co-founder and co-CEO of JabberBox, Jeremy Jennings, explains the concept a bit further.
This great work from home experiment, we can probably agree, is not optimal nor sustainable. And going back to an office 5 days a week is not viable in the short term and probably not desirable in the long term. And what JabberBox is, we are a future of work platform. We provide an ecosystem of technology-enabled microspaces to give mobile workers the privacy and tools to work, and frankly, much more, anywhere at any time. We are an IoT, Internet of Things, consumer-enabled hardware. The JabberBox itself, the core product is essentially a large, technology-laden phone booth. The user has the ability to control their environment, which we think is super important, both from a comfort, health and wellness and productivity standpoint. We go into market really into, we can go really deep and talk about what we are, or a lot of times we just say, we put privacy pods in public places. And airport is really our largest demographic and vertical today.
And in the age of COVID, concern about proper sanitizing of the JabberBox microspaces is understandable.
We've introduced an air filtration system to help reduce airborne contaminants, including particles containing viruses. Our boxes have airflow of almost 200 CFM, which means that there's continuous airflow for air turnover and changeover every 60 seconds. So there's always fresh air. We are conditioned, which means that we take the conditioned environment around us and we're forcing air through the units. All the surfaces are antimicrobial, which suppress the growth of microorganisms and limit the transmission of harmful microbes. At the end of the day, nothing beats a good old Clorox wipe. And we've been live in LaGuardia over 3 years, and was our first beta test. And we've not had one complaint around sanitation, cleanliness, smell.
The next time you're at the airport, look for JabberBox. It's a great place to get some uninterrupted work done, or just a nice, quiet place to escape the madness or have a FaceTime chat with a friend or relative. Minimizing interactions with folks at the airport or other public places is probably most evident in the fast food and hospitality industry. Most of us don't have time for a sit-down meal at the airport, but even a grab-and-go meal risks several touch points before a meal gets into your hands. Servi helps minimize the risk. Jeff Livney, Chief Experience Officer at Servi, talks about this.
Servi is an enterprise self-service platform for hospitality. Our focus is really on larger venues and street-side restaurants where we can enable guest self-service, but our roots are really in the airport space. We launched about 5 years ago as Grab, an app where you can order and then grab something on the way to your gate at Hartsfield-Jackson. The Grab Airport Marketplace is still our largest product and a big focus of the company in creating this ecosystem across airports where we can link all of the different stakeholders, so that the different restaurants and retailers together with customers through a variety of different digital channels in partnership with our airport partners.
As you might imagine, COVID accelerated the interest and support of this technology, especially at airports.
What we then saw was a very profound interest by the industry in adopting this type of technology much more holistically than we'd ever seen before, as airports started to realize that they needed to reduce touch points wherever possible for the restoration of confidence in travel and the airport experience. So there's been a really marked investment by the industry in enabling these sort of touchless or contactless ways to order and pay.
While there isn't any specific data that shows a reduction in virus transmission, Servi is drastically reducing touch points for customers and allowing staff to focus their efforts on safely preparing meals.
By reducing a lot of those touch points where guests can order themselves, they don't have to be with an employee to place an order. They can pick up their order from a shelf or some sort of handoff, a locker, for example. That definitely reduces a lot of touch points. While there is a Grab airport app that you can download for iOS or Android, the vast majority of people interact with us as a feature within some other product on the day of travel. Airlines are a great example. We're integrated today into the American and United mobile apps, and they make it a feature on the day of travel. So in the American app, for example, if you're flying to, through, or from an airport that has Grab activated, whether for pickup or in-terminal delivery, you'll see a promotion right on the home screen on day of travel that says get food on the go at DFW, for example. The other thing that we did, we partnered with another startup called At Your Gate late last year. And so we added in-terminal delivery to the platform, which we now have in 7 airports and closer to about 15 by the end of summer. Whether you want to pick it up yourself on the way to the gate, or maybe you really want McDonald's or Chili's or Shake Shack, but you want it, it's 2 terminals away, we'll bring it to you.
So how will all this new airline and airport technology affect the future of travel?
I think, from the airline industry, and really in a lot of all verticals right now where you go, you're going to want to see a more of a frictionless experience, right? Very much where you almost have like a digital ID, something that you opt in for. We're already partnering with a lot of companies, and again, bringing out like biometric cameras that can attach very easily to our kiosks. So I can, identify somebody when they walk into an airport, understand, where they need to be, get them, cleared through, security as quickly as possible.
I'm just really enthused by all the different things that airports are trying, whether it's more, robotics or machine learning based, tools in the airport. We're seeing, all sorts of advancements in airports these days, especially as we've got some CARES Act funds to, help airports develop and move into these products much faster than a typical municipality procurement process would run.